You're hoping the Knicks would go 3-0 in this one, man, but hey, Magic clapped back in a big way. Led by Cole Anthony to start it off, and closed by Terrence Ross, the microwave. Knicks just could not get anything going offensively all night. No fluidity. Shots weren't falling. The Splash Brothers from Friday night were just ice cold from 3. And defensively, they just weren't there, man. Got out hustled, got out muscled down the stretch. And that's all she wrote. 110 to 104. Knicks go down at home. CPF franchise here. Ashley Moss, JD Sports Talk. Well, JD, there goes the 50 burger, man. Turn off the grill. It's getting real now. Adversity. We caught a L. They coming back inside. Give me some thoughts on this game, man.
Well, as you said, no 50 burger tonight.
No 50 burgers tonight, man.
I mean, I paid the gas bill, but the stove doesn't want to turn on tonight. Try to get the stove to turn on. It does not want to turn on tonight. So, but we'll try it back the next game. Listen, this is definitely a disappointing loss. I think that's the term, the appropriate term to use. It's a disappointing loss, especially after the way that we played against Orlando on the road, and then coming back at home, our second home game after a late game-winning game against the Celtics. Mm-hmm. Disappointing, man. Disappointing all around. All-out struggle. The offense continued to shoot, a bunch of threes. We just couldn't make threes today. Yeah. And it's funny because when the game was close in the fourth, and I believe we were up 1, I had texted Sports Vibes TV, and I said at that point Terrence Ross had 0 points. I said this is a type of game that now this is a guy that could really create separation here, because Terrence Ross, I compare him to like a J.R. Smith, a Jamal Crawford.
Microwave.
In the fact that these guys are so streaky, they can get hot. And as you go along in the season, I guarantee you, when you look at any Orlando Magic wins that they have in the season, go look at that box score, and I guarantee you Terrence Ross would have had a good game. But look, in terms of perspective, listen, the Hawks lost to the Cavaliers. This is you're banking on human performance. Yeah. This is, any given day, right? This is not computerized, right? The Hawks lost to the Cavaliers. The Hornets beat the Nets. The Suns smoked the Lakers, and then they got smoked by 30 the next game against the Blazers. So I just want to put perspective on this. I have to put perspective. I'm on the 50 burger bandwagon. So how can I not put perspective on this disappointing loss? So, it's early. And if you look around the NBA, you've seen some wacky losses, and it's going to happen. I mean, in the 82-game season, even the best of teams, the teams that win 60 games, you look at all around, you look at their loss column, they've had disappointing losses. So let's, the only positive, let's have it today, have it early. And, I'm sure we'll break down player performances as we go along tonight.
Yeah, 100%. Ash, what were your takeaways from today's game?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the word of the night, disappointing, especially off the game that we just came off of against the exact same team. You would hope that same trajectory would go into, especially when you're playing on your home court, playing at home. You have the home crowd, but you also have the familiarity of the court you're playing on, right? You know it, and you know it well. I think obviously Julius Randle, 16 rebounds, 30 points from him. Derrick Rose, big night off the bench with 23. Couldn't really expect more from those guys, but I think it's everything in the middle that's disappointing. RJ Barrett didn't have a good night. Mitchell Robinson obviously scared Knicks fans to death when he hit the ground. Double-double from him, a quiet one, 10 points, 10 rebounds. Evan Fournier, very quiet from him. Kemba Walker, very quiet from him. So it's the guys in between that really didn't hold their weight. And we spoke about this going into this season, the difference maker. And one of the things that we were very looking forward to was that now in the offseason, you got those acquisitions that can help Julius Randle not have to do most of the legwork, right? And tonight they didn't hold down the fort for him. So eventually Julius is going to go cold at some point in that game. And we saw that in spurts throughout the game, right? Quarter here, quarter there, a little piece of that quarter, a little piece of that quarter. And you can't go ahead and rely on him to solely keep the ship afloat anymore.
Yeah.
You have too much talent on the team to even expect that from him. And again, he is a human, like JD spoke to, and he's going to go cold. And that's just what it is. And it's about how do you combat that? And I think also he realized that his teammates were not having a good night. So you didn't see him pass the ball like he should have, because it's like passing the ball to who? Nobody else is scoring tonight. I have to do all that work. And it's reverting back to old habits, that old hero ball mentality where last season he had to have that mentality, right? Because he really was the only one outside of some contributions from Derrick Rose and RJ Barrett here and there. He was the only one really that was responsible for getting the points on the board and helping to secure wins. It was predominantly rather on his back. And we kind of saw him revert to old habits. It's just going to go ahead and take everyone doing their part to kind of make sure that he doesn't revert back to that, because you can see how easily he does.
Yeah, 100%. And look, in the first half, he had it cooking. I thought he was flaming Wendell Carter, Bamba. It didn't matter who was guarding him. I thought he had it going in the first half. Second half, I thought it was just way too much ISO ball. And overall, there was just a lack of continuity within the offense. Fournier 3 from 11 from the field. RJ 5 of 17. Julius himself 8 of 24. A lot of it settling for one pass and shot. Two pass and shot. There just wasn't too much fluidity going on with the offense. Once again, it was the second unit that came in and picked us up after the slow start. Derrick Rose, outstanding game. He was the best Knick tonight. Again, an efficient game for Rose. Efficient as a shooter, efficient as a passer, getting the offense going. He was the best point guard on the floor. Between he and Kemba. Tibbs went to go close with him, as we saw. But again, it just wasn't enough help from especially Fournier and RJ. Your wings. You got 8 of 28. Shooting from those guys and 3 for 14 from downtown. That's just not going to get it done. Needs a lot more help. You mentioned Mitch.
I don't think it's any, I'm looking at the chat right now. It's definitely no need to sound the alarm.
It's his third game. It's 3 games.
Game out of 3. Played literally 3 games so far this season. You could be in worse situations. You see the Lakers, who are still the favorites to go to the chip, and they're losing the team that they're supposed to be beating. They look a mess. The Nets are a disaster right now. Milwaukee went ahead and blew the Nets out by 40 in one game, and then lost to Miami by 40. This is just the growing pains of the very beginning of the season. A lot of teams are figuring it out. A lot of teams are getting the rust off. It's nothing to sound the alarm off, guys. You gotta relax.
It's game 3 out of 82, man. It's game 3 out of 82, and like you said, everybody has up and down games. The Hawks lost to Cleveland last night. It happens. Overall, the shots just were not falling. The shots were not falling for us. Again, there were some concerns defensively. You had Cole Anthony go off, 21 first half points. He finished with a double-double, 29 and 19. He was flaming Kemba up, flaming the guards. That's not a good look. And then again, Terrence Ross, that was RJ's responsibility. That was Burks' responsibility. Neither one of them could check Terrence Ross. Yes, he is a microwave. He's capable of doing that. This is a guy that dropped 50 points once upon a time. So he's capable of getting it going, no matter who's guarding him. But either way, our wings just were not defending well tonight at all. You mentioned Mitch, Ash, and again, another scary moment thinking we almost lost Mitch again.
Yeah.
And in Mitchell Robinson's absence, another area that hurt us was our lack of rim protection. Every time Mitch went out the game, no Noel again tonight. What's going on with him? We have no idea, but he's now far behind the 8 ball with no preseason, no training camp with a knee injury. So we got to see what goes on with him. But they went with Taj and Obi, no Sims. So you had no rim protection there, and each time Mitch went out, Magic were able to take advantage of that. Mitch, when Mitch came back in, JD, after we thought we lost him to a potential knee injury, he came right back in, stripped the Magic 3 times, got an offensive rebound, got fouled. Mitch's defense, his paint protection was certainly on display in his minutes. I thought that was a bright spot in this loss.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, as soon as he went out, the Magic understood, the personnel that was out on the floor. Not only the Magic, it's going to be a theme throughout the season, unless Noel can get back healthy, and if he is inserted into some minutes in a backup role. This is what teams are going to do. Teams understand now. Like the Knicks are known around the NBA as a very good team, and so scouting reports are going to pay attention to, the point guard position is a weak point at defense, so we have to attack that. But let's also look at Mitchell Robinson. Let's also look at the Knicks center rotation. As soon as Mitchell Robinson is out, teams are going to think this is our opportunity. And as you saw, Mosley immediately was inserting those guards that could get to the basket to make sure that, this is our chance to make runs.
Yeah.
And Mitchell Robinson tonight was only one of 3 players that was a positive in the plus minus department. So that also goes to show you when he was out on the floor, the Knicks were playing well. And this also is going to test Tibbs. We talked about, tonight it didn't work in terms of going with Obi and Randall. What does this do to Tibbs' confidence moving forward and using that combination? Because we all know Tibbs' emphasis is 48 minutes of rim protection, and that's why in an 82 game season you need everyone. I know fans don't think that Noel is very talented, and I get it. There's other players on the roster and in that rotation that are more offensively gifted than him, but he does offer a important ingredient that, like I said when the season started, because we don't have some of those perimeter players, defensive players that we lost, our rim protection is going to be key in nights like tonight where we're just not hitting shots.
Yeah.
If you're not hitting shots, and then now you're letting Cole Anthony, and here's the other part about Cole Anthony. It's not even only the points. I couldn't believe this stat when I looked at the box score.
Mm-hmm.
Cole Anthony has 16 rebounds.
16 boards.
You know what I mean? He had more rebounds than Mo Bamba.
I think also the thing to look at is obviously, the players on the court and things like that. But I think probably what I took from this game more than anything was the Knicks on paper are the better team. But the Orlando Magic played better 4 quarters of basketball and they were coached better. And I think that's also something we have to look at. Tibbs has to also, when we speak about players not falling back into old ways, Julius Randle not playing hero ball and having that mentality, we also have to look on the other side of that and look at Tibbs for not falling back into old ways either. There was no reason that in that 4th quarter he shouldn't have made adjustments. Julius Randle was exhausted. There was no reason that Tibbs could have adjusted his lineup and go ahead and say, you know what, Randle? You've done a lot. You're exhausted. Let me go ahead and switch this up a little bit. Let me try something else. He can't go ahead and get stuck in this pattern of stubbornness where he is determined to make the lineups and the rotations that he wants to work. The course of a game changes your game plan. And we said this last season. Just because you went into the game with one game plan doesn't mean that as the game unfolds that game plan is going to continue to work, especially when you have a night where most of your guys, especially your starters, at halftime, Julius Randle was the only starter in double digits. That's a problem. So you should go into halftime and say, look, what can we do to adjust this? As the game is unfolding, you in the 4th quarter, you see Julius Randle has been doing a lot of the work himself. He's exhausted. How can we go ahead and relieve him, but then also go ahead and make sure we're in a conducive environment to win the game? There has to be a level of fault for everybody. And I think Tibbs has some of that in trying to, again, fit a triangle into a circle peg sometimes. It's like, if it's not working, what else can you do to make it work? Because Julius Randle was doing more damage than good sometimes being on that court because he was just gassed.
And that's an excellent point, Ashley, because listen, I don't want to be negative tonight. I can't be. I said I have, I'm in the 50 burger bandwagon, so I'm putting perspective. I have to put perspective. However, Ashley is speaking some truth there in that this is going to be something to watch. Let's not overreact tonight, but it is something that we have to watch as the season goes along and hopefully in the playoffs in terms of Tibbs management, rotation management, but also the way that he either calls plays late and who he decides to run the offense through. And the reason I say that is because, CP, I was slightly disappointed in the fact that we didn't go to Rosemore to end the game. We were still forcing it to Randall. Still had Randall bringing the ball up. Still had Randall shooting threes. And my attitude, the way the game was going, you see, you have to feel the game. There's a rhythm to the game, right? And sometimes you have to say to yourself, you know what? You're our best player, but and you have the stats. Fantasy players, they're happy with Randall's performance tonight. But in terms of efficiency, he just wasn't there, and he wasn't getting the best of shots in key moments.
Running through Rose, man.
Rose was going off.
Running through Rose.
I'm thinking, run every single play. LeBron does this where
Yeah,
if you
100%.
can't stop a play, he runs. He doesn't care if you know what play is coming. If you're not stopping it, he's going to that play every single time down court.
Yeah.
I would have preferred us run the offense to Rose at the very least. If he wasn't going to shoot it, you're confident that maybe someone else gets a better rhythm shot. We forced a little bit too much, and that's going to be something that I'm going to be watching from Tibbs, going forward this season.
Man,
so I want to see these situations.
I understand, people saw the Randall, shot. He made the buzzer beater in the preseason finale. I still want Rose's hands in the clutch. You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? That's just me. But on the rotations and JD, I felt like at one point I was validated because Tibbs had my closing rotation out there. He had Rose, RJ, my guy Burks, Randall.
You let me know it. I saw that.
I did send you that DM. I said, watch the closing lineup. We lit right now. But it wasn't so much, man. But as you said, Rose had it going, hit those back-to-back threes to keep us in the game. But it just was a little bit too late. And then he goes back to Fournier with 4 minutes left in the fourth. Fournier's ice cold. First shot he takes is a deep three, which, to me was ill-advised. But that's one of the things, again, as we go through this season, Tibbs is going to have to manage. How do you manage that depth? Are you going to go Rose over Kemba? Good job. You stick with Rose. Kemba's, he doesn't have it right now. Are you going to go with Burks versus Fournier? Those questions are going to continue all season long. At what point do you go to one guy or go back to the other? Tonight, my guy Burks didn't have it tonight. Didn't really have it tonight. I would have rather seen Fournier come in a little bit early in the fourth, try to get back into a rhythm, back into a flow, but just wasn't meant to be tonight.
And that's a really good point, is how do you manage the depth, right? Because before last season, the conversation was, well, Tibbs can't manage what he doesn't have, right? Mm-hmm. Now you're on the other side of the spectrum. Now you have the depth, so how are you going to manage it? And I think, going back to the previous point we were making, you got to figure out who is your closer. You got to figure out who you're most comfortable running the offense through. And look, that may not always be Derrick Rose. Sometimes it may not be Derrick Rose's night, but it has to be just a clear thought process on Tibbs' side where it's like, okay, if it's not Rose tonight, if Randall's not going to be our primary scorer, if RJ's not going to do this, how do I adjust? Because at the end of the day, the players are going to run what the coach draws up for them, right? And that's not saying that Julius Randle does not have to be better at executing and passing that ball out. That is something I've been very critical of him in the past. He has a mentality that he always has this hero ball mentality, where it's, if I don't take the shot, nobody else is going to take the shot. Nobody else can take the shot. You got 4 other guys in the court with you, Julius. It doesn't always have to be you. RJ, didn't have a great night tonight. He does this sometimes where he just kind of fades into the background and he'll quietly do things here and there. But I need more aggression from you, RJ. You can't just, sulk into the background. Yeah. Everybody has their individual things that they need to work on. But Tibbs is responsible for the whole collective unit. And he has to be better at managing the depth, managing the rotations, and most importantly, making the adjustments when they have to be made and not sticking with a mindset that you went in there with, because the course of a game changes in the blink of an eye, and we saw that tonight.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
They doing us dirty on the super chats too, CP. A couple people complaining, saying that it's not working. Oh, we got
some people saying the super chat's not working.
Yeah, they say, Junior Caroma. A few people say they tried to send something. So I guess it's on and off because someone was able to send it.
We got a couple. I see a couple have come through. Let me know the message that you guys are seeing with the super chats not coming through. Let me know the error message that you're getting. I haven't experienced that. I'm seeing a couple get through. So let me know the message that you're getting from YouTube. Speaking of which, salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for your squad. Climbing up to 1,000 people on the chat. This is Knicks Postgame Live presented by Manscaped. CP, Ashley Moss, JD Sports Talk in the building. Knicks go down at MSG 110-104 in the rematch against the Magic. Look, Magic just they played harder, played tougher all night. And they came out victorious, man. I'm with you, though, JD. Once I saw Terrence Ross hit that first shot in the fourth, I said, here we go. I said, he's about to get started. Here we go. And my man would not stop. Damn near tied the Knicks output in points. He finished with 22 points in the fourth quarter alone. So
that's all he got.
That's all he had.
22.
That's all he had.
In the fourth.
Yeah, man.
All on the floor.
Speaking of the super chats that have come through so far, and we're going to get to the phones next. 657-383-1509 is the number to call. Russell Whiskey sends a super chat. He says, Hero Ball is Randall's kryptonite. King Matthews sends a super chat. He says, one, we got to hit these open threes, bro. Howie hit 24 threes to 13. Number two, I'm not worried, though, but we got to win games like this. Number three, oh, my Lord, please, NYK, hit your free throws. And number four, Evan should have came back more than Burks. All right, King Matthews, I hear that. Cam's Corner.
Before we get to the phones, and
Yeah.
totally off subject from the
Yeah.
actual logistics of the game,
Mm-hmm.
was Cole Anthony's mother sitting in Spike Lee's seats?
Was it Spike Seats?
I don't know, but
I
that
don't
was
know.
a little too. That might have thrown some bad juju on her.
I don't know.
Yeah,
She was on the floor.
Cole Anthony jersey on, which obviously
Yeah.
she should. Shout out to moms.
Yeah.
Sitting, I think it was in Spike Lee's seats, if I'm not mistaken.
Ooh.
And that could have thrown us some
That's bad juju.
I don't
She
know.
was on the floor. I don't know. I got to investigate that, man. I got
don't
to
know.
investigate.
If anybody saw what seat she was sitting in, if they were Spikes, and you know, in the chat, let me know. If they
I
weren't,
don't know,
okay.
man. That is kind of bad juju. Shout out Cam's Corner with the super chat. He says we'll bounce back. Fluke loss. Obi as well as the rest of the team just couldn't hit. Yeah, nobody could hit shots tonight, man. All right, let's get to the phones. Let's hear what the people got to say, man. Let's kick it off from JJ from Brooklyn. JJ, what's going on?
What's going on? How's everyone doing?
Good, man. How you
What's
feeling?
going
Good.
I'm all right, man. The only 50 burger on my mind right now is my damn Jets giving up 54 to the Patriots.
Ooh.
So I'm tight with that and the Knicks tonight. Oof, brutal, man.
Oof.
Brutal.
Get some good sleep
Man,
tonight.
the thing is, it's just, oh, man. Frustrating day for sure, man.
Mm-hmm.
The thing with Randall, it's a lot of ISO. The ball sticks. You can
Yeah.
live and die by it when it's working and he's hitting the shots. You don't realize it, that it's not the best type of offense. And then nights like tonight, you really see it. I know we dropped 30, but very inefficient. The ball is sticking like crazy. And the thing that I don't get with Knicks fans is, I don't get why, people are excited we got Kemba and Fournier and that Rose is here now, but then they complain about the defense. Like, we knew this. We knew the perimeter defense was going to take a big step down.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You're going to improve offensively, but we knew the defense wasn't going to be as good. So point guards are going to hurt us on a consistent basis. I don't see that changing anytime soon with the point guards we have. It's just, and then the last thing with RJ, I know a lot of people are killing him. I see it in the chat, but I don't know. I guess I look at him differently because I never saw, like, a lot of Knicks fans, I feel like they say, they think he's going to be a superstar. I never saw him as that type, like a franchise changer. Just in my opinion, even from the jump, from Duke and when he first came to the league, I never saw him as, like, a franchise-changing superstar type player. I like him, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying trade him, but I just never had those expectations. So, that's why I feel like Knicks fans get very frustrated with him when he has bad nights. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think we'll be all right, man. Just the one thing that's frustrating is just, nights like this, and with the East being way improved.
Yeah.
Charlotte, that was the team that I really thought was going to take that big jump up this year, and they look really good.
East is
so
stacked
the Bulls
up,
look
man.
good.
East
so these
is
are tough
looking good.
ones, man.
Yeah.
You got to get these, man.
Yeah,
You guys
yeah.
have a good night, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, JJ. Have a good night, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, East
Appreciate it.
East is tough.
You too.
East is definitely tough, so you don't want to give these type of games away, man. But look, it's better to have this happen in the third game. You learn from it, as Tibbs said over and over again in the press conference, and you move forward. All right, Val.
We got to the bottom of the seats. They were Spike seats.
Oh,
And
come
apparently
on,
Cole
Spike.
Anthony and Spike Lee are cousins somehow. So that's why they were in the seats. So Spike scalped the seats to his family, but the family was the enemy. Can you say drama at the Garden?
Come on, Spike, man.
But I respect Spike for keeping it in the family. But damn.
I get it. Sheesh. Come on, man. All right, well. Yeah, I
Talk
mean,
about a twist.
kid had a 21 first half points, man. He was killing us.
Yeah, well, listen, his family had his cousin Spike gave him some good luck for
right in front of moms, man. Right in front of moms.
He had to put on a show.
He was shredding us. But yeah, to JJ's point again, the perimeter defense is going to leave a lot to be desired. I don't know how this gets better as the season progresses with the players that we have. And again, it just it's more pressure on our bigs, which is why Mitch is so important. And when he went down, we got even more exposed because we just had no defense, no rim protection at all. So it's something that's going to be worth watching as the season progresses for sure.
And it's also why, and when to his point about RJ, I always say, your evaluation of players will always be based on what your expectations of them are. Mm-hmm. So, obviously fans that have certain expectations of him are going to evaluate him as such. If you are, of the ones that think he is going to be a superstar right now, he's not playing like a superstar. So of course you're going to destroy him. But that's why I said that to me, his jump this year was going to be defensively. I wasn't looking for 25 points per game. I was looking for maybe a 1 or 2 point jump in terms of offense, but defensively is where I am, really looking at him to take a jump. And he has started well. Today, I think he took a step back because at the end of the day, CP, if he locks up on Ross, we likely win the game.
Yeah.
And
100%.
You can't allow a 6-man or a backup player come into the game and you're a primary defender. That's your assignment. You can't allow someone to go 22 points in the fourth quarter. Like, you just can't. And so that is where I'm disappointed in RJ. The offense, I'm not there yet, because it's 3 games, and he's a player that we've seen this before. I remember last season when he went through that real rough stretch. He had like a 4 or 5 game stretch where he couldn't hit a basket. People were saying maybe he should come off the bench, and then we saw how he ended the season. So offensively, I'm not to that point where I'm concerned. It's just I'm looking at him, and I do have myself high expectations of him this year defensively.
And I think also it's a little unfair to – I think people forget, and I know this sounds like a broken record, but RJ is only 21. We forget how he's been in the league, 18 years old?
And people don't like to hear that, but it's true, Ash.
It's very rare. It's very rare, unless you're like D Wade or LeBron James, to come into the league at 18 years old and be a superstar right off the bat, and just each year just keep getting better and keep getting drastically getting better.
Yeah.
RJ is only 21. If he came into the league after his junior year of college, this would literally be in his 2nd season or 3rd season if he came in. I mean, this is somebody who we forget that he's so young. And I think that there's growing pains with that. I think to say he's not going to be a superstar or he is going to be a that's it. You don't know what he's going to be. I'd like to think that he's going to be more of a superstar than he's not going to be a superstar. But when people will say, oh, trade him, get rid of him, he's not going to amount to anything. He's just turned 21 years old.
Yeah,
he's not even in his grown man body yet. Like, he's not even that guy yet. Like, I think there's no reason to not be critical of him, but there is a line between being critical and being over critical for someone who hasn't even reached the plateau of who they're going to be as a player and as a person yet. That's my only thing.
Yeah. That's fair, man.
And I know D Rose won the MVP at 22. Not everybody is Derrick Rose, okay?
You gotta let the kid cook, man. Development is not linear. Like I said, right now I'm looking for his floor to be 3 and D. And I'll wait for the rest of his game to round out, if it even does. Now, today, he took a couple of mid-range jumpers. They didn't fly. I thought he finished a little bit better around the rim. He had a couple runners, a couple floaters in the rim that looked fairly good. I thought his passing was crisp. It may not show it on the stat sheet. I thought RJ made some sensational passes today as a playmaker. A lot of them didn't convert, but, overall on the offensive side, I don't think it was that much of a disaster. As people are pointing it out to be.
And I feel like the criticism of RJ would be warranted if we didn't see the improvements that you just mentioned and we didn't see those each and every year. Now, if he was the same player he was at 18 and he is at 21, I would say, we got to get rid of him. He's not making any strides. He's literally the same person. There's been no improvements in his game. But it's easy to look at one bad game and say, oh, he's got to go, than looking at the course of his career thus far and seeing the strides that he has made season to season, and they're there. And if he's going to continue that trajectory of continuing to make those strides, 23, 24 years old, you're going to see a drastically different RJ. It's just the basic, that's what statistics are. I mean, it showcases that statistically he gets better each and every season.
Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for your squad. Let's hit that like button. We got over 1,000 people in here. This is Knicks Post Game Live presented by Manscaped, talking about the Knicks 110-104 loss to the Magic. We're going to go to the Discord and take some calls in a second. I want to shout out a couple super chats that have come in. Shout out Kenny Gales. He says, bum night, lot of hero ball, ice on sus defense, as well as sus offense. Got to clean that up. Hashtag keep Mitch healthy. Olivia Thomas, shout out Olivia, says, super chat is working for me. Go Knicks. This loss will force our boys to get focused for Tuesday. That's a fact. We got a big test coming up on Tuesday with the Sixers coming into town. So shout out Olivia Thomas. Let's go. CT Pittman, my guy CT, sends a super chat, says these are growing pains, but it's not the end of the season already. Casuals are ready to jump off the ledge. Sheesh. It's only 3 games. It's only game 382, man. It's only game 382.
My favorite thing is, if you look at the chat, the 2 comments that are really standing out to me the most is, one, now all of a sudden somebody was like, well, we saw the kind of star Obi was in his first season. I don't know which first season you watched, but I didn't see that. What? Second of all, homeboy who keeps putting in the chat should have drafted Keldon Johnson instead. He's a beast. You're out of your mind. Okay, I'm just gonna move on.
Stop it. And you don't know who they are, because I feel like the Hawks fans are in here tonight.
Yeah, they're all in here. They're all in here. Orlando fans, probably. The 3 Orlando fans that exist, they're in here tonight. Everybody's in here tonight, man.
The same people who wanted to trade Obi Toppin for a quarter water and a chopped cheese, and the same people now on the
it's literally game 3.
I'm seeing a lot,
man. He was.
I'm seeing a lot of new accounts tonight. I'm seeing a lot.
Come on,
see a lot of new names here tonight.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of new names, man. If you guys are new viewers, if you guys are new in the chat right now, type in hashtag new, and we'll shout you out if you're Knicks fans. We'll shout you out. Team hashtag new. Throw it up in the chat. All right, to the Discord we go. Pipstar, you up? Pipstar, what's going on? Pipstar.
Hello.
Yo, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up? Thanks for taking my call, first of all.
Nice, man. Where are you checking in from? You in London?
Australia.
Australia.
I knew it.
Oh, here we go. Ashley couldn't wait. She couldn't wait to kick off an Australian accent. What's going on, bro?
Yeah, I was going to say, you can probably hear the accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going good. I just want to say before I start, I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller, and I love what you guys do.
Thanks, man.
Really appreciate it, so thank you. But first of all, I'm definitely not really worried about the loss tonight. It was a horrible shooting game, especially towards the end. We missed 3 or 4 really good wide open threes almost. It's going to happen some nights. We can't really go. Look, we obviously can't go 82-0 the whole season. So yeah, like you said, better to get these games out of the way early. But I love seeing the crowds. The stadium's just absolutely packed, because here in Australia, we haven't had crowds in any sporting games for months since the start of the year almost. So it's just a really cool contrast to see all the stadiums just packed with fans. It's really cool. So I hope you guys really appreciate that, because it's really cool.
Yeah, well, the opener was good, man. You got to come out here for a game,
Yeah, for sure. It's been my dream. I would love to come to New York and watch a game.
All right, man. We'll definitely appreciate the call. Call back anytime, man. Pipstar in Australia. Salute to Pipstar, man. Pipstar on the check-in. Let's go. Did I miss any team hashtag news in here, JD? Who we got in here, man?
Yeah, we got Ed Santana, hashtag new.
Ed's he's playing, man. He's in here every night. He's been in there
every
night for the last 3
this
years.
How about I think it's Venomous. He said hashtag new.
Oh, my boy V. My boy V. Nah, V ain't new, man. That's my boy V. Shout out my boy V, though. Down there in Florida. Yeah, he is a bum-ass Nets fan, but that's my guy. Always support me. Yeah, he's always support me, though. Shout out my guy V, man.
And then we got a Philip. I can't pronounce his last name. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, shout out to Philip. Citizen X. I see Citizen X. I feel like they've been in here before. Shout out to Othello. Ed Santana always claiming hashtag new, but he's been in here. Miata U says hashtag lurker. So I don't know. He might not be a Knicks fan, but he's in there.
Sema Goats is new. Shout out to them. All
right. Who else you got, Ash?
Charm Boy 72 Abel from Jamaica is new.
Nah, he's in there all the time.
Oh,
yo, everybody capping tonight, man.
Well,
everybody's scamming tonight.
Everybody's scamming tonight, man. Who?
Stephen Gomez.
Yeah, that's new. So, all right.
Stephen Gomez.
Yeah.
Let's see who else is new. Y'all are so lame doing this new and you're not new. Hold on.
That cap of the night.
Oh, David Daniels, is he new?
Yeah. David Daniels, what's going on?
David Daniels.
Yeah.
Daniel Mejia, is he new?
Nah.
Oh,
People
I'm not doing this anymore.
People think they got me. I got good memory, man. I know everybody that's in
Andrew
there.
H, is he new?
No, he's not new. All right.
Oh, come on, guys.
Shout out to Strive. Shout out to Strive, man. Anthony Connolly, what's going on? Charles Dudley, how you feeling? All right. I see something new. I see some people that are in here all the time. But either way, it's all love, man. Let's go back to the Discord. Fredo, you up next. Fredo, what's good, bro?
What's up, guys? Thanks for taking my call as always.
Yeah, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Good, man.
Good. Ashley, love the show with Sports Illustrated. Super dope.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. I wanted to make a point about home and home games. Historically speaking, home and home games are always tough in the NBA.
Yeah.
I couldn't get the stats for last year, but just as an example, in 2019, all home teams that lost the first home and home games went to be 8-0 in the next game. So
it's good stat, good perspective right there. Good job, bro.
Yeah, man. It's I'm a basketball nerd, man.
Let's
I'm
go.
just a nerd, but so like that to me, I knew going into the game it wasn't.
I like nerds,
easy.
by the way.
Thank you,
Ashley
thank you,
shooting that
Ash.
shot there. You better.
Don't make me blush, Ash. The second thing I wanted to say is everybody's talking 50 burger.
Yeah.
But what people got to remember is 50 wins comes with 32 losses, all right? So, there's going to be some tough ones. It happens.
Let's go.
We gotta move on to the next game. Hopefully we have a strong outing against Philly. And everybody just keep your head up, man. There's no reason to stress. It's a long season. It's only game 3.
No doubt.
Enjoy it. Have
Let's
a good
go.
night, guys.
Fredo dropping stats.
Great
man.
analysis.
Yeah, we might have to bring
50
Fredo
wins
on
comes
board.
with 32 losses.
Yeah.
That's great analysis.
Fredo dropping the numbers, man. Fredo, you might have to join the team. We might need like how ESPN used to have Stat Boy. In reality, we used to be Stat Boy. Yeah.
If you don't like to be on camera, we could have him as a.
That's
we
it,
could
man.
find
Just bring him in through the
behind
Discord.
scenes.
Just bring him in through the Discord. Stat of the night. Salute to Fredo, man. That was a good call. Appreciate that. A couple of the super chats have come in. Fritz Marty Jr. sends a super chat. He says, we lost the battle, but Mitchell not being hurt was a win for me. Yeah, big time, man. I didn't care about the outcome anymore. I'm just looking at Mitch running and trying to see if he was limping. 100%. And they did say, and Mitch Robinson says he tweaked his ankle because it was a very scary bang play when Jalen Suggs came crashing in on him. It first looked like they banged knees. Then I'm thinking like, damn, is there like structural damage there in his knee? Is it his ankle? Is it Achilles? Is it a broken leg? It could have been literally anything because the way his leg buckled, it was kind of crazy to see. But again, even in his limited minutes, like as soon as he came back, he was all over the court, bro. He was a force defensively, an absolute force. So, yeah, man, definitely got to keep him healthy. You hope that he stays that way.
This is gonna be a theme all season, though.
Yeah.
CP. As soon as in the commentator they said it was the same leg that he had the injury, I was just nervous.
Yeah, man.
So and this is just something that we're gonna have to deal with. I'm pretty sure he's gonna go to the locker room many more times throughout the year, just because this is just the type of player he is. He hustles, he tries to block shots, he wants to play well, and this is just something that we're gonna have to deal with and just hope that he stays healthy.
Yeah, no question about it.
And Ash, I think you made a mistake saying that you like nerds because not everybody in the chat wants to be a nerd. So
I love nerds. I love smart men. There's nothing wrong with being a nerd.
You leaked the tip.
Yeah, there you go,
tip
fellas.
for everyone.
Study up. Study up and hit the books, man. Study up and hit the books, fellas. You know what I mean?
In school, kids.
100%. Shout out Darren Paul in the chat team. # new Darren. How you feeling? A couple other super chats come in. Stephen Gomez says, on to the next one. 50 burgers still intact. Let's go. Shout out to Stephen Gomez. D. Roy sent a super chat, says not questioning coach's decision, but he could have mixed it up a little bit and put Deuce in for a few stops on Ross. We were too predictable. I hear that, but it's hard to have the coach come in and bring a rookie in the fourth quarter ice cold like that. I wouldn't see that happening either. The guys out there have to get those stops. That's on Burks, whose defense has been fairly good since the season started, just not tonight, and it's on RJ, whose defense has been pretty good since the season started, just not tonight. So I think, they gave Tibbs some good enough tape for him to trust them, and they didn't come through. Manifesto INS sent a super chat, says Archbishop Malloy and MSG tonight. Cole played well. Yeah, he was outstanding tonight. Salute to Cole Anthony, no doubt. All right, back to the phones we go. Val from Jersey. Val, what's good, bro?
Good. How are you guys tonight?
Good, man. How you feeling, man?
Good. All right. Listen, I'm at my point with Julius Randle where I kind of cringe when I see Point Randle.
Mm-hmm.
The first 2 years I gave it a pass because we didn't have any point guards, but now we have Kemba and D Rose, and I still cringe when I see him bring the ball up court. I saw him steal 2 rebounds from Mitchell Robinson, so I'm like, okay, it's that kind of stat pad tonight we're getting from Randle. He kept bulldozing into the he would drive and bulldoze into the defenders and stuff. RJ was throwing out his rhythm. Fournier was throwing out his rhythm. Obi couldn't get his rhythm. And it's where was this energy against Atlanta? And that game just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Even to this day, it's just like going forward. Do you see Randle just stop with the Fizdale era tactics and just being a good basketball player?
Well, thanks, Val. Well, that's on this coach, I'm with you. You have 2 capable point guards. Let them handle the rock. You know what I'm saying? Let them handle the rock. You don't have to do it all. Yeah. And that was one of my questions, JD, going into this season. When we're talking about all the questions, I said, look, Julius and his trust with his new teammates, with Kemba, with Fournier, that adjustment, that chemistry has to be built. Those adjustments have to be made.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough because I know the fans are going to look at Randle a lot, and deservedly so, right? He's our best player, but I also think the coach has to help him a little bit. You know what I mean? And this is what happens when you have a roster. Expectations go higher, right? And now tight games, everything is magnified, and your best player is Julius Randle. This is when the conversation starts to become a championship contender. You need that guy that you can give the ball to, and he can give you a bucket, and at the very least can create a positive play if he doesn't, get the score. But if you're Thibodeau, you have to look at this roster and you just have to feel the game on a game-to-game basis. I understand that Randle, look at a night like tonight. Those stats, he still had 30 and whatever he did. He still had a double-double, had good statistics, but they didn't impact winning. And so Thibodeau has to adjust to how Randle is playing throughout the game. And like I said, I was disappointed that we did not finish the game going to Rose more. I was also disappointed that, hey, this is the night where not one, not two, not three, multiple players didn't have it tonight. Couldn't make a shot. Make it, set a little statement. Play Grimes 10, 15 minutes, switch it up. You brought McBride in for 4 seconds. Give him a little bit of burn in the second half. These are the type of things that, Phil Jackson used to do to kind of set a tone when he was a coach.
Early in the game, though, bro. Early in the game. Not when you're taking a 6-point lead into the fourth quarter. They blew it.
My thing though is it's hard for me, and I hear what JD's saying. I agree with a lot of it. It's hard for me. I know the fans want us to, smash Julius Randle's head through a wall. It's hard for me to blame someone who had 30 points and 10 rebounds. I mean, he was out there doing his job. He was out there working, and it's hard for me to put blame on somebody. Yes, Julius is not the best at figuring out when it's time to pass and when is it time to shoot. He does tend to hog the ball a little bit, and I think that has to do with that mentality like I was speaking to last season where, look, the responsibility, a lot of it, let's say 90% was on his shoulders. So, yes, there may be some bad habits that have to be broken there. But in this game, I can't blame somebody for hogging the ball when nobody else on their team outside of Derrick Rose had it tonight. What else was he supposed to do? Pass it to RJ so he could brick it up? I mean, the man was trying to be out there making something out of nothing. So I understand the criticism of Julius Randle's game in its entirety, and I completely agree with it. But for this game, I don't think he really had many options. There was nothing else going on.
And that's why the coach has to help him, because what is Julius Randle going to get the ball? He's going to say, no, I don't want it. Let me pass it. The coach is calling the is running the end of game system through him. He knows he's our best player. He's a competitor. He's going to take those shots. That's why I put it on Thibodeau and CP. You said that with a 6-point lead, so you wouldn't play like a Grimes or someone just because
they had a 6-point lead, win the game. You playing the Magic.
Yeah,
win the game. I'm not even worried about Quentin Grimes right now with a 6-point lead.
I get it, but I'm saying don't be afraid to use a skill set of a player that you have on a bench to kind of close the game out. Maybe you play Grimes, and maybe Ross doesn't go off like that. Now Grimes doesn't have to score the last points of the game, but you're using a certain skill set to kind of, finally, because yes, the Knicks were up 6, but the Knicks were up points early in the game, and the Magic kept showing that they were going to come back. We just didn't have it. So sometimes I think even when you have a lead, it can also be misleading depending on how the game is going.
No,
we were up 6. I wasn't totally confident that we were going to close that game.
Not only that, but look, let's go back to, I believe it was the first game of the season that we won. If you look against Boston, one of the things is that if you look, Julius Randle wasn't doing what he did tonight. There was a lot of distribution of that ball. There was a lot of ball movement. Everybody got involved in some capacity, minus Kemba, who is going to take a little bit longer, I guess, to get, into the swing of things, get that New York grit back. But the one thing that was something that we really enjoyed about that game was everybody did their part. Everybody had a nice stat line. It was 15 points here. It was 20 points here. It was 25 points here. This was not one of those games. This was a very lopsided game where Julius and Derek were on this side and the rest of the team was on this side, and the scale looked like this. So I understand the criticism of Julius Randle, and I agree with it. I just don't know if that criticism necessarily applies to the way that this game kind of unfolded, because there were not other options for him to pass that ball to that he had confidence in.
And also, and Wally and Han had that debate on their post game as well, because Han's take was that, Julius had it going in the first half. He was cooking Carter. So it's kind of hard to say, dial it back, especially to your point, Ash, when a lot of these guys didn't have it going. And shout out First Lady of Sports. She sends a super chat because she also had a good point in that in the fourth quarter, Knicks couldn't beat that zone. Magic went back to that zone in the fourth, and we couldn't execute. So that's another thing, again, from Tibbs' perspective, when he talks about, what they want to take away from this game and to learn from. They got to execute better out of the zone, because they have the pieces to break it down, whether it's, running it through the middle, through Julius, through RJ, or, busting it from the outside with Rose's three-point shooting, or Burks, or Fournier, whoever's out there. They certainly have the personnel to get out there and do it. They just have to execute it a little bit better.
Tibbs really needs to go ahead and watch that game back against Boston and try to go ahead and recreate that same magic for the rest of the season, because that was continuity basketball. That was what you want from a team that has depth. There wasn't one guy doing more than somebody else. And yes, there are going to be days where Julius has the big stat line, where Evan has the big stat line, where D Rose has the big stat line. We get that. Because, some days, some guys have it a little bit hotter than others, but you still want that supporting cast. You still want those numbers, those stat lines, to be somewhat similar in the way that they're distributed, in the way that they look. So there's a lot of fault to be passed around here. I just don't know if the fault on Julius in his game as a whole really applies to this specific situation, because RJ didn't do his part. Evan was non-existent. Kemba was non-existent. Tibbs, his rotations, managing the depth was non-existent. There's a lot of other things that I feel like Julius is at the bottom of that totem pole right now.
So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for your squad. Hit that like button. We got 1,100 people here on the chat. Let's get up to 1,000 likes, man. CP Ashley Moss, JD Sports Talk. This is Knicks Post Game Live, presented by Manscaped. Fellas, as usual, go to manscaped.com. Enter promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. The Rhyme Animal Chuck D sends a super chat. Everybody in the chat throw a hashtag PE in the chat. He says had domestic duties, but yeah, this is the NBA. All 82 requires attention and grit. Let's remember, LOL, win or learn. Terrence the Raptor, Magic Nick Killer, and the one we didn't get. He was mad at that. Yeah, so many times we were flirting with Terrence Ross, man, and he's certainly a microwave and absolutely torched us in that fourth quarter. The fourth quarter was all him.
Noel's hurt, guys. Why? Someone says, are we paying Noel to sit at home? He's hurt. What do you want him to do?
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing we haven't seen him yet. But it is what it is. He's got to hurry up and get back.
What's the situation? It's knee, right?
Yeah, they say it's a knee. So hasn't played at all in training camp, preseason, or the season. So
we don't have a timetable. Of what
they did say before the first Magic game that he was close, quote unquote. So take it for what you will. All right, back to the phones we go. Tom from Yonkers, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going, CP?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. So, yeah, with this game, it is what it is. We went down to Orlando. We smacked them, embarrassed them on home court. They came back, and they wanted to play with some grit, and they did. We had a lid on the basket, and couldn't shoot the ball well, whether it was free throws or with three-point shots, and you live and you die by the three. Mm-hmm. Tonight we die by the three. Yep. It happens, So it's one game in a long season. And one other thing I want to touch on, RJ, when he plays defense, is so key to our team. In those first two games, when people were guarded by RJ, they shot 18% combined in those first two games. And this one, he didn't seem quite as into it, head down kind of defense and really not quite as locked in. So I know people have been ragging on RJ a bit, but when he plays defense, I mean, he really makes up at the perimeter for what we've lost. We have Fournier out there and Kemba, and they don't put in the same defensive ability, but when you have RJ to make up for it, it really can complete that starting lineup. So, it was a rough game, but we can come back from that. 50 burger, still intact. We're still rocking with that.
Still rocking.
Stay strong. Stay strong in the face of adversity. All right? Listen, man, look. Listen.
JD turned off the grill tonight just for tonight.
I even tried the George Foreman. It's not working. Nothing's working for me tonight. But stay strong. We got this, man. Tuesday we'll bounce back.
Why do you have a George Foreman grill right next to your desk?
Because I'm trying to cook anywhere, man. The stove is not working.
He's got 48 burgers to cook as. He needs every appliance he can get. You know what I'm saying? The stove might go out on him.
I had an air fryer, my man.
I had it ready, and I had it next to my desk. I thought we were gonna win, and then I'm like, damn, it's not gonna happen tonight.
Let's go.
It's not gonna happen.
Back to the phones we go. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up on Free Squad. Take a couple more calls before we wrap. Jay Boogie, I heard Jay Boogie told me he was gonna call in. So if you're gonna call in, hit us up. Let's go to D from North Carolina. D, what's going on?
CP, what's good? Ashley, JD, what's good?
What's good, bro?
I have a couple points I wanted to make. One, I feel that, again, Tibbs needs to kind of stretch that rotation now, especially in the fourth. I felt that when Terrence Ross started cooking, he should have tried to throw Grimes on him or something to try to alleviate, some of that, because Barrett, not only was he having a bad night, but he was tired. So, and then, with all these fans, I'm starting to doubt a lot of the acumen from a lot of these Knicks fans, because they're saying, "Oh, R.J. Barrett, this." Listen, look at Randall before he came to the Knicks. He's, what was he doing? He was a top pick. He needed that time to get to where he's at now. R.J.'s only 21. So, they're saying, "Oh, but," they're not looking at the path that Randall had to go to get to where he's at.
Yeah.
And, another thing, you look at it with everything, like the other caller said, we have 32 games that we can lose to still get that 50 burger. But do you see anybody falling off the hinges because Milwaukee lost to the Timberwolves?
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Everybody in this league made it to this league because they could ball. So you're not going to just beat everybody.
Got to be on your A game, man.
That's the thing.
Yeah, you got to be on your A game, man, and appreciate the call. Orlando came in and they wanted it. They wanted that first win for the coach. We embarrassed them on their home court. And as Fredo came in and said, look, those second half of the home and homes are hard to win. Those are hard games to win, man. So
back-to-backs in this league is hard to win. As I mentioned, the Suns smoked the Lakers, and the next night, last night, they lose by 29 points to the Blazers.
There you go.
The Hawks go and they play the Cavaliers, and they lose to the Cavaliers. So it's like, are the Cavaliers a better team than the Hawks now? Like, it's early on. Usually you see some of these games, CP, early on in the season where people, teams are trying to get into a rhythm. Everyone's trying to get their rotation set. You have players in and out, and that's why I said I'd rather it happen now, learn from it now.
Yeah.
And you want to be, as a team, in the duration of an 82-game season, you want to get hot at the right time. So just got to bounce back next game.
The only thing, and look, I could be completely wrong, but the only thing I don't see, because D was with you, JD, on the whole, throw Grimes in. With a 6-point lead in the fourth quarter against the Orlando Magic, I don't see Tom Thibodeau throwing in a Quentin Grimes who's ice cold at this point to go get a defensive stop. I just don't see it. You up by 6 points. You got Derrick Rose, Julius, RJ, so on and so forth on the court against the Orlando Magic. You're supposed to win that game. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I agree.
You're not playing the Nets. You're supposed to win that game.
No, I agree in the sense that if you were to rank it, that's why I said first as a higher priority. I hold Tibbs accountable for not going through Rose. So I think if you make that adjustment first, we don't even need to have a Grimes or a McBride or whatever. We don't need to have a conversation of, oh, you should have inserted player X, right? So I think the first thing, the biggest culprit is not ending the game through Rose instead of going to Randall. After that, if you see nothing is happening, you see Ross is going off, Fournier doesn't have it from the perimeter, RJ is struggling on both ends of the court, I wouldn't mind throwing the Grimes out there and get a spark plug. I'm not saying that he was going to score 10 points or that he is going to be a difference, but and I'm looking at some of these post-game quotes, and everyone is talking about the energy was low. We didn't have energy tonight. Randall is saying, so if that is really the sentiment, if you didn't have energy, then usually that's where you go and try to get a spark plug from, someone else at the end of the bench. So that's all I'm saying. But you're right. This is what we wish could happen. But with Tibbs, it's unlikely.
I don't see it, man. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for your squad. All right, let's go through it rapid fire, man. CL Kenrick with a super chat says, T. Ross killed us with the clutch shots. Paul Quick super chat says, Kemba literally can't guard anyone. No perimeter D at all. RJ chasing Ross around to no avail. He was not good. Ash. No excuses. Fournier sat too long. Shout out my guy V with the super chat. Movie Juice says we had Hans and Franz over there looking like the Ball brothers.
Hans and Franz.
I guess he's talking about Mo Wagner. Put some respect on the name and his brother. His brother wasn't really hitting anything though. Franz Wagner.
Can I tell you, I also did not know that Lopez was in Orlando.
Yeah, Rollo's in Orlando, man. I like him, man. He's a funny guy.
I like Robin. I just had no idea he was in Orlando.
I
saw him and I was like, wait, what the hell are you doing here?
Yeah, Rollo's there, man. I think he went from Milwaukee to Orlando this year. So shout out to him. Jeffrey Lynn. Jeffrey Lynn says sends a super chat, says Tibbs about to chew them out. Faith in the squad. #new. Mark McGinnis sends a super chat. Julius reminded me of why the beginning of his tenure was so tough to watch tonight. Aaron Vasquez, thanks for the super chat. $10 super chat. Christian Rodriguez, $10 super chat. Says, first time here in the chat, but I've been watching since my brother put me on last season. So shout out to your brother. He said, this is early. Congrats to 50K subscribers, and I'll catch you on the Discord. Oh, he said this is an early congrats to 50K subscribers. So he's putting that energy out there, JD. Let's go.
Facts.
I like that.
He already sees the future. It's gonna happen soon.
I like that. We did hit 43, man. So salute to everybody who's been subscribing, hitting that like button, hit the thumbs up button, sharing these videos. It all contributes.
And let me say something real quick. There's some people in the chat saying that, oh, JD, you got to hold RJ more accountable on the defensive
I saw people come.
end.
Yeah, somebody came at me on Twitter about that.
But here's the funny thing. Okay. And I'm the one that's saying maybe you should have inserted Grimes for RJ.
Yeah.
How much more accountable can you hold the
Nobody's
player
listening, man.
where
Nobody's
you
listening.
decide to bench the third overall pick, right? And you decide to bench him in the fourth quarter for a rookie, a late first round
still
pick,
don't hear you.
because you don't think that he can play the defense that you need against a bench player. I mean, if you're RJ and that actually happens, I'm pretty sure you're personally, a little bit like upset or a little, maybe even embarrassed.
They
right?
still don't hear you.
And this team is a deep team, so nobody's rotation spot is really safe. In terms of, a player comes in and they play well, you don't know what could happen. I'm not saying that RJ isn't, he's not going to lose any his rotation spot. But what I'm saying is, how much more accountable can that be? Like, you want me to curse him out? I'm over here arguing with CP about inserting Grimes in a 6-point lead. Right. So I mean, I don't know what more the fans want tonight.
You can't win, man. You can't win. They wanted to go 82-0, man. It just is what it is. We spoiled. All right, to the Discord we go. We're gonna go to Amicus Parvis on the Discord. Amicus, we're gonna try you again. Couldn't get through to you last time. What's going on? Amicus, going once. All right, Amicus, you're gonna have to try again, man. Couldn't get through. All right, back to the phones we go, because I know my man is calling in super long distance. Muhammad from Australia. Muhammad, what's going on tonight?
Hey guys, wonderful show as usual.
Thanks, bro.
And big shout out to everyone who support this channel.
Yes, sir.
Guys, look, couple of takeaways from being so far away, right? Mm-hmm. I've got a different lens in looking at this. It's the third game in the season. We're going to rather learn now. Mm-hmm. I don't think the Knicks played down to the team. They just lack urgency. Mm-hmm. I don't even believe it's an energy issue. Thibs keeps calling it out. It's the 48-minute game. You got to play 48 minutes. Mm-hmm. There were times that the Knicks had good shots that just didn't roll in, just rimmed out. That's just luck. But one thing that's obvious for me is, and this is for Randall, RJ, the young guys who are the engines of the team, they need to know that to move from good to great, when it isn't your day, it's just not rolling in, you got to trust your team. I didn't see a lot of plays set for Rose. He wasn't hunting. He was just finding it and taking it. And that, I think, just comes from experience.
Yeah.
And the same thing they could have been doing for Fournier as well. It's just, you got to feed the guys. You can't just try to hunt your own because you're just pissed off it's not working. Sorry, this is out loud. But you just can't do it like that. You can't just force it and get aggro about it because you lose composure. And that's what I saw in the last sort of 7 minutes. The guys started to lose composure and things got frustrating. But you know what? They'll learn.
Yeah, true story, man. Thanks for the call, man, and enjoy the day out there in Australia. Yeah, you're right. I thought they just, things just fell apart at the seams. And, the lack of continuity, the lack of flow throughout the game carried over. And once Terrence Ross got cooking, we started to press a little bit. And as Muhammad said, you wanted, D Rose was cooking all night. You couldn't have asked for a more perfect game than what he's been giving us. Super efficient once again from the field tonight. Let me look at his stats. What do you have from three tonight? 5 of 8.
5 for 8.
5 for 8 from
5
three
of 8,
tonight.
man. Should have shot 3 or 4 more.
Yeah, 23.9 at 16 from the field. You got to feed that man, Tibbs. Got to feed him.
I mean, he's definitely putting an end to any argument about who should close at this point.
Oh yeah. And he was in my closing lineup, JD.
So was Burks.
Yeah, and we saw it. But my guy Burks didn't deliver. But Tibbs went there. Tibbs went. Rose.
You're right.
Burks. For a long time. RJ, Julius, and Mitch.
I always thought, when we did the 4 lineups, I always thought you and I were going to be closest because I just didn't think. I just don't think they're ever going to play Rose and Kemba together.
No. Disaster. And we got to figure out what we're going to do with Kemba. But we give it some time. Figure out what
next week. It's gonna be an important week, CP.
What we got?
Good week next week.
Oh yeah, big week.
What we got?
Big week.
We got
big
some
week,
big
man.
games next
big
week.
games, man. We got Sixers on Tuesday. We got Bulls on Thursday. And shout out my guy Corey Talbot, Hardwood Herald. He's coming through tomorrow. We're gonna do the game of the week preview. Knicks versus Bulls. 3-0 Bulls coming in hot. You got Lonzo running and gunning. He's coming off a triple-double performance. They just watched the Pistons last night as well. So that's going to be a big game this week. And then in New Orleans, no Zion, but in New Orleans. So on the road. And Brandon Ingram is playing well. So 3 tough matchups this week. So we can't dwell on this loss for too long because we got to bounce back and get right.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
Next game on national TV.
Next
TNT.
up. Next
the
up.
Sixers. So.
Yeah, man. To the Discord we go. Ratan, what's going on in the Discord? What's going on?
What up, CP? First time, long time.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no, man. No problem. So, I was just echoing everyone else's thoughts. Basically, I'm frustrated with Tibbs' not lack of trust, but not giving quickly enough of a rope. I guess that you should give him, for him specifically. That lineup that he likes to do with Kemba and Deuce, I'd like to see Quick get some minutes in that. No, it's a young backcourt. It's a very young backcourt, and Tibbs probably won't like that. But I think there's a lot of potential in that backcourt, especially shooting and the capabilities of defense that McBride has. So I think that's something that Tibbs should look forward to. And other than that, nah, man. Like we knew we were going to getting Mitch back was going to be so big for our rim protection, and his bowling capabilities look very, very solid. He's shown no flaw in that from you so far, so I'm really happy with that. That was like the next progression you need to take. So far, so good in that aspect, and the rim protection is what it is. We just need Noel back, and then to just for Tibbs to just expand the rotation. It was a frustrating thing about him. We knew that from the jump, but it's something that he has to learn. And he has to get over that hump. He has to learn to get us over that hump, basically. So for me, a lot of this stuff is going to come onto him, and see how far he's going to allow himself to grow and change essentially as a coach, but for the better, right?
Yeah, no question, man. Good points. Definitely good points. And I don't know, Quick struggled again today, 0 for 4 from the field, only 12 minutes. I don't think Tibbs, really trusted him much tonight. And he went with Burks. He gave Burks 25 minutes tonight. So he went with his vets. I'm not sure. Quick's been struggling. He got back on track on Friday, but nothing consistent so far. So we'll sit back and see how that progresses.
Yeah, no, man. Great to hear you. Great to big fan of the show, and take care.
Where you calling in from?
Oh, Toronto, man. Toronto.
Oh, all right. T-Dot in the building. Let's go.
Home of the 6 God.
Let's go,
sir.
man.
And the 9 God.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Be easy up there, bro. Good to hear from you.
You too, man.
Appreciate
Have a good day, man.
I think this year this is how they're gonna basically Tibbs is gonna manage quickly. I think it's gonna be they're coaching him because they want to develop him, but I think they'll have a real short leash on him just because his game and Thibodeau, he comes in and he shoots 3-4 threes, and if he's not coming in hitting shots, I think Tibbs will have a short leash. So just quickly has to make sure that he's sharp as soon as he comes into the games.
No question.
And before we get ready to close out, I just want to give a special shout out to one of my favorite New York Knicks, once a Knick, always a Knick, Carmelo Anthony. He just moved into 9th on the all-time NBA's regular season scoring list, passing Moses Malone.
Shout out to Melo.
27,410 points. So shout out to 3 to the Dome, Melo. We're very proud of you.
Shout out to Melo. Who are they playing tonight, Lakers?
The Lakers are playing that. I have no idea. Probably a team that they should.
They're playing they're losing by 1 to the Memphis Grizzlies.
Oh, to the Grizzlies. Okay. They're playing John Morant.
All right. Back to the phones we go. Let's go rapid fire real quick. Ryan from Long Island, you up next. What's going on?
All right, I'm Ryan from Long Island, but I'm in Texas right now. I've been living here for a minute.
Oh, good.
But 81-1, gotta say, not that bad. You look at tonight, you go in, you beat these guys by 30-something points. You come in, you think you're going to smoke them. You got all the confidence in the world. I mean, you see it in any sport. I've done it myself, and I'm not even that good at sports. So, you come in and you think you're going to, just hammer them down, and sometimes the shots don't fall. It is what it is, I look at tonight, not a big deal.
No doubt. That's it?
Rapid fire.
That's all I got to say.
Oh, man, rapid
It's
fire,
my
man.
first time calling in. I don't know this stuff.
Oh, all right. All good, man. Appreciate the call, man. Where in Long Island did you come from, bro?
I'm not in Suffolk.
Okay, no doubt. Suffolk County, man, holding it down. Ryan, appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. That was super rapid fire, JD. Caught me off guard. I was like,
yeah.
I was like, all right.
What you wish for?
Hey, just say, just
you're used to saying rapid fire. The first call usually doesn't comply,
and they go like
you have
5
to get
minutes
into a
in.
rhythm.
Yeah.
So we got caught off guard.
They're trying to put the loss. They try to put the loss behind them. So
That's a fact. All right, man. Vinny from Florida, what's going on, man?
Hey, how you guys doing? Love you guys' show.
Thanks a lot, man. How you doing?
Yeah, no problem. I'm good, man. Thank you. But I'm pissed off about tonight's loss, man. I think we had so many opportunities to pull away. And every time I look up, Cole Anthony's hitting the threes. You know what I mean, man? We couldn't stop him tonight.
Killing us.
You know?
Yeah.
And then Terrence Ross in the fourth quarter just going nuts.
Yeah.
But what I'm most pissed off is I saw Fournier didn't come into the fourth quarter until 3 minutes left in the game.
Yeah.
Yep. He's having 2 straight games. He went off, and I don't know. Maybe they gave up tonight. I don't know, but I'm really pissed about this one, man. And love you guys' show, and have a good night, guys.
Appreciate it, man.
Pissed off.
Appreciate that, man. Hang in there. We bounce back Tuesday, man. We'll be back. We'll definitely be back.
Everybody's so sad tonight. It's killing me.
I think I remember CP when we did our defensive lineups. That I had Burks,
yeah, you did,
and I had RJ,
you did,
I think to the caller's point, I think with Tibbs, and this is what happens. You don't win, and it backfires, right? Because now you're looking at the way Fournier has started. Why would you not have him there? But once Ross started cooking up, I think Tibbs was trying to find a defensive combination to kind of attack that. He figured, with Burks, I still have enough offense. Maybe RJ can hit a 3 or 2, and I think that's what he was thinking to close the game. But it didn't work.
Yeah, didn't work. But again, this is where the questions are gonna come up. Every game. How long do you go with Fournier? How long do you go Burks? How long do you go Rose? How long do you go Kemba? It's gonna happen, man. It's gonna happen. So tonight was one of those. In game 3, the questions have come up. So let's see how that goes. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for your squad. All right, we're gonna go 3 more calls before we wrap up. Let me hear from my guy Aaron, who's not cool. My guy Aaron is not cool, a MSG frequent visitor. Aaron, were you at the game tonight?
No, I was not at the game tonight. Had a couple friends in town, so I had to miss the game tonight.
Okay.
But I was watching at the bar. I think that, a lot of people are sad. I think this is actually a good thing. I think this is especially with how we showed out in Orlando, we showed what we can do. And this was an opportunity to show where we can't be complacent. So it's nice to see, we shot 37%, which is just so unbelievably bad. We can, it feels like we can only go up from here, and then we can see, everybody had mistakes, even Tibbs, with how, when things get tough, when the momentum moves around, how do we move? Where do we go? This felt like, I was watching Titanic the other night, and I felt like this looks like new money. They don't know what to do with it right now. So
yeah,
I'm hoping that
it's a good analogy, man. They were definitely profiling Jack when he jumped on the ship. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. They did him.
We're trying to look like Cal right now.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
Yeah, but anyways, if you're gonna throw tomatoes at me in the chat, make sure you throw some cheese and some toast because I like that bruschetta. All right,
got you.
I'll say goodbye.
Let me write that down.
Salute my guy Aaron. Is not cool, man. All right. We're coming up with the final 2. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for your squad. A couple more super chats to come in. Shout out to D. Roy. He says, at some point after all the missed shots, coach got to look at his bench and ask, who can get us a basket or stop Ross? One or the other. B. Swade super chat says, we just need to be patient, waiting on Kemba to get some continuity. But the starters, once that happens, his defensive weaknesses won't hurt as much. Junior Karoma says, terrible effing loss. Jesus Christ, Knicks. Why? To the Magic, though. Nah, bro. And he's put Magics. A lot of people call them the Magics.
Yeah, CP, the Giants won today too, man.
They did. Yes, they did. And that's all I'll say because it's been a very disappointing season. But I am pleased that they won today.
Disappointing for whom? It's great over here.
That's why I'm trying to keep it brief.
5-1.
That's why I was trying to keep it brief.
Can we X out Ash's window and say it's technical difficulties?
Yeah, I got the mute button over here, man. I'm gonna do them like ESPN be doing. I'm on around the horn.
Let's say shout out to the 5-1 teams.
Freeze them. Anyway, as we were saying here, Angel from Philly's up next. Angel, what's going on, man?
Yo, what's good, CP? How you doing, bro?
Good, man. What's going on?
Pissed off, man. I'm mad we lost this game. JD, don't worry about that. The grill, you know what I'm saying? We're going to light that grill up on Tuesday because we're beating Philly, you know what I'm saying? So keep the grill ready. We're going to come back. We're going to snap that 20-game losing streak. I'm sick and tired of the Sixers, you know what I'm saying? So we need to beat them on Tuesday. Mi amor, mi reina, ¿cómo está mi amor?
I'm good. I'd be better if we got a win. Where were you?
Hey, listen, man, I had to make that money. You know, I got to get ready for that dinner at the Garden. You know what I'm saying? So I got to do what I got to do.
Yeah.
But, hey, listen, first thing first, man, hit that thumbs up for your boys, man. Hit that subscribe button. Show the show some love. We need all that. So, listen, you know, when it comes to this game, listen, there's going to be games where, you know we're supposed to win and we're going to lose, right? Like, let's be honest, the Magic are garbage. They're not better than us. The problem is we have to stop playing to the level of competition, right? We played Boston. We played them hard. It's a good game, and then we wound up beating them. And then we beat Orlando. We whipped them, and then we're thinking it's all sweet and it's all good, and then we lose. We got to stop playing to the level of competition. You feel me? And, you know, we play them next month, so I'm not too worried about that. But this is what I'm more worried about, right? The fact that the Knicks have shot in 70% from the free throw line the first game, 52% the last game, and 68% this game. We got to make our free throws if we're going to beat teams like this because I don't understand why we're shooting threes like we're Golden State Warriors. It's just getting on my nerves. Like, we passed up so many open buckets at the rim to shoot threes when we're cold. It just doesn't make any sense. Now, I like the fact that we're shooting threes, but we're shooting way too many threes. And for God's sakes, why are we playing so much one-on-one basketball? We play best when we move the ball. If you move the ball, the ball is going to drop into the bucket. You feel me? And, you know, when I'm looking at some of these stats right here, Randall, Fournier, and RJ, they shot 5 for 24 from 3. If you're shooting for falling, what's the one thing that the Knicks have over Orlando? Go to the basket.
Yeah.
We're too big for these boys. Why are we shooting threes? You know, and the same thing with O.B., Burks, and Quickly. They shot 1 for 9 from 3. I mean, that's just ridiculous right there. Go to the basket. And the one thing that we have to do is be consistent. We're not consistent on offense or defense. We look good in spurts, right? But another thing that's really puzzling is through the first 3 games, we've given up 53 in 3 games to open the season. That's the most that I know in the history of the Knicks. That is way too many threes. We got to play better than that. Now, we know we're better than that, but it goes down to the competition. Stop playing on Orlando's level when you know you're a playoff team. This team is going to be in the lottery again this year coming up. So let them celebrate their NBA Finals win. They're not going nowhere, but I know where we're going. We're going to the damn playoffs.
Let's go.
So y'all need to have that positive energy, man, because I'm getting ready to go to my first Knicks game next month. And I'm telling you, CP, the ticket is on me. I'm willing to pay. And Ash, if you want to come stop playing, I got you too. You feel me? So I'm all prepared. And let me tell you something. On Tuesday, we're winning this game. I'm sick and tired of Philly. I'm sick and tired of these Sixers fans talking trash to me. Oh, we won 23.
Oh, yeah, you in Philly too, man.
Guess what?
You're in Philly, man.
I hear it all the time. But you know what? We're going to beat them. It's going to end this year.
Let's go.
You just got to stay positive. And this is a lesson learned, man.
Okay.
And you know what? It's on to the next game.
Let's get
Y'all have a good night. Y'all know who it is. The
Angel,
Simp.
the
I'm out.
Darth
Peace.
Simp. Appreciate the call, man. And the closer of the night coming in hot, Jay Boogie, North Carolina. Jay Boogie, what's going on, man? Let's set the record straight, man.
Salute. 3 capital S's. I got to be honest, I ain't even supposed to be on this phone tonight,
it was
but
a
I
bum
talked
night.
to the general manager earlier today, and I said, yo, I'm only going to call in tonight because it's Sunday and I'm supposed to do sermons on Sunday.
Yeah.
But I had to get woke up out my mattress and have my wife telling me, yo, we losing. I couldn't believe what was going on, so I had to go check the videos and see what's happening, you know what I'm saying, about this game. I don't even watch bump games, no nothing. I expect to wake up on a victory. This is a bad taste in my inside my mouth tonight. I do not like this L. Maybe some of y'all are cool with it in the chat, in the orange and blue world. I'm not. This is a very important game. This is the type game you need to win for later on in the season. You tie with somebody at the 6th seed, and you get pushed from the playoff spot into a play-in spot. It's a difference between all the games that we are supposed to win. You know what I'm saying? This game is like a playoff matter when you're playing somebody in the regular season on a back-to-back night game. That reminds me of Game 4 when we played the Bulls and they came back and we Charles Smith and they went back to Chicago. We ain't come back. That's the type feeling I got against Orlando Magic. We're supposed to smash these type teams, but I'm not going to point no fingers at no players. I'm not going to do that like people doing in the chat. I'm not going to talk about no players. What I want to talk about tonight is the motivation. Where was the motor at tonight? Where was somebody getting in their other teammates' face telling them they need to turn up, man? Where was the starter kick? We needed a piston on that bench tonight, man. We need somebody to be a vocal leader on our team for nights when we come to perform. We do not show up, man. That's what we're missing. No, stop shooting the trade. Get to the bucket, man. Go to the rack. Put pressure on the rim. We don't have that type of conversation on the court. So therefore, we're gonna stay doing what we're doing, trying to make up what we didn't do last year, trying to be a better 3-point shooting team. I can't say this about Julius. His jumper was off, but he did put pressure on that rim, trying to dribble and get to that rack. So I'm gonna give him the props with that, man. But we can't not allow no more L's against teams we're supposed to beat. This is a bum night, and I'm not supposed to be on this phone, man. I look for us to straighten our face Tuesday night against the Sixers, man. Handle your business and erase this right here. All we did was turn up the daggone volume on ESPN when their ratings been down. They get Knicks, but they get their ratings up even higher when we lose and they get to talk about the Knicks. I don't like that, man. So everybody have a great night. Wake up, be happy. Appreciate you got a job to go to tomorrow. Don't feel like, it's Monday, I don't want to go to work. Yes, go to work and just start, you know what I'm saying, prepping yourself for the week and, solidifying your home, man. Shout out to everybody in the orange and blue rocking in the chat. I love you all. Shout out to my general manager, you know what I'm saying, the great CP. Shout out to, you know what I'm saying, Ashley, the Wonder Woman herself. I thought she was Thelma, and we supposed to have a good time tonight, you know what I'm saying? But Orlando came through and did something different. But shout out to the Griselda, the Pretty Boy, Fly Boy, you know what I'm saying, JD, we in the building. Shout out to the Super Day, the best board man, and you know who I am. Salute, 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 3 capital S's. See you Tuesday night. Handle your business.
Let's go. Throw some 5s in the chat. Jay Boogie, the closer. This was a bum night. He didn't even want to come on tonight. I told him come through for the Sunday sermon, bro.
Gave us a new perspective on Monday because I wasn't looking forward to tomorrow. Yeah. But now I am.
That's a fact.
You know that Monday feeling.
That's a fact, man. That is an absolute fact, man. But yeah, look, it was a disappointing loss, of course, to a bad team at home at that, coming in on momentum. But hey, we went on Tuesday. You fire up the grill, JD. That's all I'm going to say, man. If we win on Tuesday, fire up that grill, man, because we got a tough matchup against a tough defensive team with a dominant big man, and we got to see how we fare, man. It's going to be a measuring stick game, as Clyde said on the telecast. So let's dust this one off and get ready for the Philadelphia 76ers on Tuesday night. Tomorrow night, we got we'll do a weekly recap. And then we got my guy Corey Talbot of the Hollywood Herald. We're going to preview the Knicks versus Bulls game for next week, the game of the week. So definitely looking forward to that. Let me salute the rest of the super chats that have come in. Great show. Ashley, great show. JD, great show. Dave, everybody in the chat, all the mods in the chat as usual, man. Great show. Let's hit that like button one more time for your squad. B. Swade sent the super chat. Oh, I got that one. Jeffrey Falto says this one is on Tibbs with a whole bench of young legs chomping at the bit to make a splash. He left those guys in for too damn long. Danny Chong says can't discount the fact that teams are going to be hyped to play a good Knicks team in the world's most famous arena. Fat Boy with Kicks. The junior Knicks game at halftime was better offensive plays than the Knicks had all game. SMH Garden was upset tonight. King Matthew says fourth quarter was a mess, but we move up. Hashtag 50 burgers and D Rose plus 10 3-point boost. Cause he's cooking it from deep. Don't worry, guys, we got this. Hashtag Knicks tape. Christian Rodriguez says, I think Tim was the one who went into the game with a bit too much confidence that rubbed off on the team. Cam's Corner says it's Cam from Rhode Island. Salute. Rhyme Animal Chucks D says it's just the first loss of the season blues. Brickyards happen. You'd rather be lost in the preseason, but hey, get mad. Get back at them the remaining games of the year. Hoodie's Vintage Super Chat says bad loss, shooting / coaching. No Evan till 3 minutes left. No Kemba, maybe dueling point guards. Too much ISO. Hopefully this is a wake-up call and a reality check. Yeah, hopefully, man. Hopefully. All right, I think I got all the Super Chats. So without further ado, once again, people, man, we appreciate everybody for tuning in. Remember that tonight's show is also available in audio podcast format. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon, Alexa, Stitcher. You can find the links to tonight's show on KnicksFanTV.com. Go to KnicksFanTV.com for the links to tonight's show on podcast platform. So to everybody in the replay gang watching on the replay, and also on KnicksFanTV.com on the next day, as usual, KnicksFanTV Remy's player ratings. Player ratings are back. He breaks down every player, rates every player, and it's a great write-up after every game by KnicksFanTV Remy. So always remember that. As usual, the show is brought to you by Manscaped, #1 men's grooming tool below the waist. Go to manscaped.com, enter promo code Knicks, enter promo code KFTV, for 20% off, plus free shipping. All right, so we out of here. CP, Ashley, JD Sports Talk.